Hello kids, welcome to ICSE Chemistry Hub. Today we are dealing with one of the most important things. I've already finished electrolysis. You can go back to the link and check my videos once again. Today we will be dealing with the specimen paper of 2026 and some other important board questions that were asked in the previous years regarding the chapter electrolysis. So please do like, comment, share and do subscribe my channel. Also, please do comment your valuable feedback to us. We will be going through each of these comments. Today we are going to start with 2026 specimen questions regarding the chapter of electrolysis. So let's directly dive into it. Also, it will be having many other important questions which were asked during the previous board papers. Okay, so for this year, the first question that was asked for electrolysis is, it's an assertion and reasoning question. Okay, so let's read both the statement once. The statement is aqueous solution of potassium chloride can conduct electricity, which is correct. Why? Because it's an ionic compound. The moment I put it in water, it will dissociate into K plus and Cl minus. Let's look at the reason. The reason says that conduction of electric current happens due to the presence of free ions, which is also correct. We know that there should be an ionic compound. When it is dissolved in water, conduction of electric current happens because of the presence of K plus and Cl minus. That is nothing but free ions. So what will be the correct answer here, children? It will be both assertion as well as reasoning is correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Clear? So the correct answer will be C. Moving on to the next question. The next question for electrolysis is, the equation shows the reaction between an element X and dilute H2SO4. So it gives X, which is in solid state. When it is dissolved and we add H2SO4 into it, we get HXO4 plus H2. Which particles are responsible for conducting electric ions in the dilute sulfuric acid and in the compound? We know it is ions that are responsible for conduction of electricity. So the answer will be D. Both positive, that is X plus and SO4 2 minus ions are responsible for conduction of electric current. Clear? So whenever there is electricity that is passing through it, whenever there is conduction of electricity, the particles that are responsible is both the cations as well as the anions are responsible for conducting electric current. Next question. In the process of electro-refining of copper, we have already dealt with electro-refining of copper. If you have any doubt, you can check my video for electro-refining of copper, where it has been explained in detail. So in the process of electro-refining of copper, which is the diagram shown below, which of the following statement is correct? The anode is made up of pure copper, which is wrong. Why? We know the anode here is made up of which kind of copper, children? We always take an impure and we take a thick rod of copper. Clear? So the statement is wrong because we know the anode is made up of impure copper. The cathode, second statement, the cathode is made up of impure copper. No. What is our cathode made up of? It is made up of a pure thin strip of copper. So this statement also is wrong. Third statement, copper is deposited at the anode. Wrong statement. Please remember, always our metal is deposited at the cathode. So this statement also will be wrong. We know whenever we have a pure metal or metal, it will always come and deposit. Metal is positively charged. So it will always come and deposit at the cathode, which is negatively charged. Copper ions from the anode. So copper ion is breaking. Copper metal is breaking to form copper ions. They move to the cathode and they are deposited as pure copper. We know that this is the correct statement at the anode, because copper will break to give me Cu2 plus ions. Where will this Cu2 plus ions fall down, children? They will fall down into the solution. So, copper ions from the anode, they are falling down into the solution and they move towards the cathode, which is what is happening. And what will happen at the cathode? Cu2 plus has come. If it's a plus here, it will form pure copper metal. So, my pure copper metal will be deposited at the cathode. So, this is the correct answer. Which one, children? Copper ion, copper metal from the anode moves into the cathode, which are then discharged as neutral copper metal. So, the correct answer here is D. Moving on to the next question. It's a diagram based question that has been asked, and this has come in section A. Okay. So, the question is electroplating steel. What is electroplating? Electroplating is nothing, but we are trying to deposit a thin layer of a metal on some other object using electricity, or we are trying to do it electrolytically. It involves a 3-step process. Just read through the step once. A coating of copper is applied on the object. So, on this round object, first copper is applied. Second, a coating of nickel is applied. So, first we are applying a coating of copper. In step 2, we are applying a coating of nickel. And in step 3, we are applying a coating of silver. Okay. So, there are some questions that are asked based on this. The chemical process taking place on the surface of object. So, in other words, at the cathode, what reaction is happening? They have given you the reaction already. Okay. So, at the cathode, Cu2 plus has come. So, Cgr. It gains, so plus, if it's a plus in the question, plus here, 2 electron, you will get Cu, okay? So, they are asking, now this is not the question. The question that they are asking you is, what will be your observation, or what is it that you will see? I know at my cathode, which metal will be deposited. It is given in the question itself, copper metal will be deposited. What is the color of copper metal that you are going to write, children? You are going to write either a reddish brown color deposit, or what is the other word that the board accepts? It is a pink color metal is deposited. So, what are the two observations, or what is that observation, or what is it that you see at the cathode? These are the two words that are required. Either you have to write reddish brown color copper deposition is seen, or a pink color metal, that is copper, is deposited. Please do not write just that copper metal is deposited. You have to write what you observe, what you see. Clear? Second question. Explain why the concentration of copper ions in the electrolyte remains constant. Now that happens because of the anode, okay? Or in other words, they are asking why the blue color of copper sulfate does not fade. This is the question that they are asking. We know that at the anode, what type of an electrode have we used, children? We have used a copper electrode. And copper electrode is what kind of an electrode? It's an active electrode. So what happens? We know it itself will start taking part in the reaction. So copper at the anode, it will lose electron. So when it is lose, minus. When it loses, what sign will it get, children? It will get a plus sign. So here, no need to write the equation. You can just write this one sentence. Concentration or Cu2 plus ion remains constant. This is the only one sentence that you have to write. Am I clear? For every copper ion that is used up at the cathode, one new copper ion falls down into the solution from the anode. So what is it that I'm meaning, children? Cathode is using up Cu2 plus ion, whereas anode, for every Cu2 plus ion which is used at an anode, a new Cu2 plus ion is falling down into the solution. So can I say, you just have to write this one sentence, that is the concentration of copper ion remains constant in the solution. For every Cu2 plus that is used at the cathode, I have a new Cu2 plus that is falling down into the solution from the anode. Clear? Next question. Give two changes which would be needed in order to coat nickel onto the object in step number 2. Now come to step number 2, children. I have to coat which metal on it? I have to coat on that object and a layer of nickel. So what is the two changes that I will require? The first change that I will require is I will place a strip of nickel metal at the anode. Yes or no? Whichever metal you want to stick should be at the anode. Clear? Object should be at the cathode. And what is the first change that I need to make at the anode, children? At the anode, I need to place a thin strip of nickel metal. Yes, this is my first change. What is my second change? My second change will be for the electrolyte. Clear? The electrolyte, if you are not aware about it, you can go to my previous video and have a check. My electrolyte can no longer be aqueous copper sulfate. Clear? My electrolyte should contain the ions. My electrolyte should have the ions which I am trying to deposit on the object. So what will be my second change that I will be making? Instead of copper sulfate, I will be taking now nickel sulfate. My electrolyte should have the ions that I'm planning to stick onto the object. So these are the two changes that I'll be making, children. I will be making my anode as nickel. So I'll be taking a thin strip of nickel here. And the second observation is my electrolyte. My electrolyte, I'm planning to stick nickel. So the electrolyte should compulsorily have which ions, children? It should have nickel ions on top of it. Clear? Okay. Give reason for the following. Although this question is not exactly for electrochemistry or electrolysis, I'll still be dealing with it because this is a question which you have studied in your 9th standard also. The question is nitric acid does not normally liberate hydrogen gas. Whenever we are making hydrogen gas, we either use HCl, dilute HCl, or we use dilute H2SO4. Why not nitric acid? The first reason is nitric acid is a very, very powerful oxidizing agent. So what is the first reason, children? That nitric acid is a very, very powerful oxidizing agent. Now, what is the meaning of the word oxidizing agent? That means it gives oxygen to others. Now, imagine which gas are we trying to make? We are trying to make hydrogen gas. Now, nitric acid is a very, very powerful oxidizing agent. So, what will it give the other substance? It is going to give it oxygen. So, instead of getting hydrogen as the product, what will be my final product, children? My final product will become water. Clear? So, what are the two statements you will have to write here? Point number 1. Nitric acid is a very, very powerful oxidizing agent. This should be the first point. Now, what is the meaning of the word oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent means to others it will give oxygen. So, it oxidizes the hydrogen formed. We are trying to make hydrogen and hydrogen is formed also. But what will happen here, children? Hydrogen will turn into water because nitric acid is a powerful oxidizing agent. It will give the other substance oxygen. So what am I going to get as a product? I am going to get water as a product. So you have to say it oxidizes hydrogen formed to water. The next question is, silver plated cutlery is not considered as pure silver. I have already told you what is this process called as. It is called as electroplating. What is electroplating? We have done a thin deposition of the metal. Okay, deposition of which metal here? Deposition of silver metal is done here. Okay, so if they ask you why it is not considered as pure silver, because in electroplating, We only electroplate or electrolytically we are putting a thin layer of silver and not the whole article is made up of silver. So it is not considered as pure silver. Once again, silver plated cutlery is not a pure silver metal. Am I clear? Because we are putting a very, very thin layer. Please put this word. We are adding a very, very thin layer of silver. And how are we doing it? We are doing it electrolytically. Clear? So it has got very, very little silver on it. So it cannot be considered as pure silver. Okay. Now the questions that we are going to discuss have been asked in the previous year board papers. And this is again regarding electrolysis. The next question is, identify one statement that holds true, that is correct, for molten lead bromide. What is molten lead bromide, children? It is PbBr2. Okay. Now, silver grey metal is deposited at the anode. This is wrong. Please remember my metal, which is the metal here, lead, silvery grey lead metal. My metal will always be deposited at the cathode, nowhere else can it go. So can my silvery grey metal be deposited at the anode? No, it is a wrong statement. Temperature is not maintained during electrolysis, which is again a wrong statement. Brown vapors of bromine is obtained at the anode. What is the anode, children? Anode is positively charged. So which ions will go towards it? Of course, the oppositely charged ions. So this is the correct statement. Yes or no, children? Because we know anode is positively charged. So if it is positively charged, which ions will go towards it? My Br minus ions will go towards it. It will get discharged as bromine vapors. And what is the color of bromine vapors? We know the color of bromine vapors is reddish brown in color. Clear? So C is the correct statement. Let us have a look at the fourth statement also. Electrolyte contains H plus and Pb2 plus ions, which is wrong. Clear? We have taken molten lead bromide, so there is no chance of H plus ions coming. Which are the two ions that you will get? Pb2 plus and 2Br1 minus ions. So the ions that are actually present are Pb2 plus and Br minus ions. Okay. Solid sodium chloride does not conduct electricity. Why is solid sodium chloride not able to conduct electricity through it? It has ions. Yes or no? It has the necessary ions. It has Na plus and Cl minus. But what is the problem? They are not free. Please remember this. Okay, the ions are not free to move. So what is the correct answer? It contains ions, but it does not have free ions. Clear? Only when we dissolve it in water, it is able to conduct electric current through it. Next, if a solution of electrolyte mixture has, so look at which all ions are there, children. We have Cu, we have Cu2 plus ions. Okay, we have calcium ions. We have cupric ions, which is Cu2 plus. We have zinc ions, which is Zn2 plus. And we have magnesium ions, which is Mg plus 2 ions. Which of these ions would preferentially be discharged? I have already taught you the electrochemical series of metals or the cations. What is the electrochemical series? Please send is for sodium, cats is for calcium, monkeys is for magnesium. Please send cats, monkeys and zebras. Into is iron, lovely is lead, hot is hydrogen, countries is copper. So which are the three cations that they are talking about? Calcium, copper and magnesium. Can you tell me, children, which one will be getting discharged? We know the lower the position, yes or no, the more readily it will get discharged. Okay, more is the discharge. So which one will get discharged first? Of course, it will be copper ions. So which one will be preferentially be discharged? If all these three ions are there, it will be my copper ion or cupric ion that will be getting discharged. So the next question is, state which of the following ions will be readily discharged at the anode during the electrolysis of acidulated water. Now, what is the meaning of the word readily discharged, children? The word readily means it is which one will get easily discharged among this. Clear? So, which one will get discharged? I have told you the electrochemical series for anions. Sun, No, Cali, Bar, I, O. Okay? Sunno, caliber, IO. Sun is sulfate, No is nitrate, chloride, caliber is bromide, I is iodide, OH is hydroxide. Okay? Sunno, caliber, IO. Okay? So, which one will get discharged during the electrolysis of acidulated water? Water is H2O, H plus and OH minus will come out. So, one of my anion is OH. So, of course, if there is an OH, which one will get discharged? It will be OH minus 1 ion. Clear? So, the correct answer will be OH 1 minus anion. State which statement about conduction of electricity is correct. Electricity, now please read the statements very, very clearly, because these distractors are there will be a thin difference between them. So let us see what about conduction of electricity was the correct statement. Statement number 1. Electricity is conducted in the aqueous solution by electrons, which is wrong. In aqueous solution, it is always ions. So this statement is wrong. Electricity is conducted in a metal wire. Metal wire. Is it by ions? No. It is with the help of electrons. So this statement also is wrong. Electricity is conducted in a molten. Molten means melted. With the help of electrons. No. It is again with the help of ions. So of course the correct answer would be electricity is conducted in an acid solution or in any solution with the help of ions. So the correct answer is electricity is conducted in an acid solution, or for that matter any solution with the help of ions. Okay. State which of the following is a non-metallic cation, which is a non-metal but still it has a positive charge. Of course the answer will be this. Potassium is a metal, Cu is again a metal, sodium is again a metal. So which is the non-metallic cation, children? The non-metallic cation is ammonium. What is the name for NH41+? It is called as ammonium ion. Clear? So this is the non-metallic ion that is asked in the question. Okay. Next question. In the circuit given below. This is a circuit. This is a diagram based question. The lamp lights up. Okay. One electrolytic cell has been shown and that they are telling that the lamp lights up. If the lamp has to light up, it has to be an electrolyte. Clear? So they are asking, what is this substance X? Or in other words, what is this substance electrolyte? What that is being used in it? A solution of alcohol in water. Alcohol is a non-electrolyte. No chance that it can conduct electricity. A solution of sodium chloride in water. Yes or no? Sodium chloride is an ionic compound. How did you understand it's an ionic compound? It is Na and Cl. Whenever you have a metal and a non-metal combo, it has to be which kind of a compound? It is an ionic compound. Yes or no? Okay. So sodium chloride. Sodium is a metal, chlorine is a non-metal. So what is the answer here? The answer will be, it has to be if the light is lighting up, if the lamp is lighting up. It has to be a solution of sodium chloride. Sugar, you know the formula of sugar, C12H22O11. Non-metal, non-metal, non-metal. So it has to be covalent bonding. Solid potassium chloride. I have told you solids can never conduct electricity through it. Whenever we are doing electrolysis, it has to be either in the molten state or the fused state, or it has to be in the solution state. Okay. Again, we have a diagram based question. So mainly in electrolysis, children, you can expect such kind of diagram based questions. So the question is, which apparatus could be used to electroplate an iron nail? Whenever we had studied electroplating, we have already learned the conditions. What were the conditions, children? Majorly 3 to 4 conditions you have to remember. My article should be at the cathode. Yes or no? This was the first condition. Whichever X, Y, Z article you want to electroplate, it should be at the cathode. The second thing, whichever metal I want to stick onto the article should be placed at the anode. Clear? Third condition, my electrolyte should have the ions that I need to electroplate. Okay, so my electrolyte should have the ions that I need to electroplate. Okay, now they have written, look at the diagram, children. Aqueous copper sulfate. This is the copper sheet. If you are seeing a rectangle kind of thing, that's the copper sheet. And then you have an iron nail. So let's go by the conditions. The article here, I want to electroplate an iron nail. Where is it placed? It is placed at the cathode, which is correct. Okay. For the second condition, the metal that I want to electroplate. Here I want to electroplate copper. So at my anode, I am placing. So this statement is correct. This statement is correct. Clear? And my electrolyte has the ions. Which electrolyte have I taken? I have taken CuSO4. So the correct answer is A. Clear? Let us see what is going wrong in diagram B, C and D. Again, my electrolyte is correct. I have taken aqueous copper sulfate. This is the wrong thing. My article that I need to electroplate. Okay. The article that I need to electroplate cannot be at the anode. It should always be at the cathode. So this is the wrong thing. Here, what is the wrong statement? What is the wrong thing? I cannot take aqueous iron sulfate. My electrolyte here is wrong. Whichever metal you want to electroplate, that ion should be there. Clear? Here also it cannot be aqueous iron to sulfate, which is again wrong. So the correct answer here is A. Which of the following reactions takes place at the anode during the electroplating of an article with silver? When I am saying silver, you should remember it is which type of an electrode, children? It is an active electrode. What is the meaning of the word active? It itself will start taking part in the reaction. And the reaction is asked at the anode. With which one? Ag. So it is ALO. Remember this, it's an active electrode. Active means it itself will start taking part in the reaction. So my silver at the anode will lose electron. Lose means minus. How many electron does it lose, children? It loses 1 electron. Whenever, so this statement is correct, ALO. At the anode, the anions will lose electron. When it loses electron, what sign will it get? It will get 1 plus. Clear? So what is the correct one? I think this is the correct answer. Ag, this metal itself will start losing electrons. And we know whenever it loses anything, it gets a positive charge. How many electron has it lost? It has lost 1 electron. So the correct answer is A. Next is fill in the blank. Let's quickly go through it. It is one of the easiest things because options are already given to you. During the electrolysis, the compound in the molten state that liberates reddish brown fumes. Now, whenever you hear reddish brown fumes, that brown color is because of bromine gas. Clear? So in this compound, I don't have bromine. So this is the wrong answer. Which will be the correct answer? The correct answer here will be lead bromide, because only bromide can give you those reddish brown fumes. Clear? The ion which is discharged most readily. Preferential discharge question again. This is one of the favorite board questions. Clear? Which one will be readily discharged? I know iron is placed higher, copper is placed lower. More lower the position, more readily it is going to get discharged. So what is the correct answer here? It will be Cu2 plus ion. Why? Because Cu2 plus ion is placed lower in the series. Next, with reference to electro-refining. Now, what is the meaning of the word electro-refining, children? I am trying to make my metal pure using electrolysis. Okay. Now, you have what is the anode made up of? You should remember the setup. Always remember at the cathode. Okay. Sorry. At the cathode, I have to take a thin strip of copper. So what is at my cathode, children? At my cathode, I am taking a pure as well as I am taking a thin strip of copper. Okay. And what should be at my anode? My anode should be a thick, pure block of copper. Yes or no? Okay. So whenever you are doing electrorefining, always remember my pure metal will come and get deposited at the cathode. After removing the impurities, my pure metal will come at the cathode. Metal is always deposited at the cathode. So they are asking here, the question is, what is the anode made up of? Anode is made up of, please remember this word, impure, thick block of copper. What are the two words that are a must, children? Impure and a thick block of copper. Clear? What do you observe at the cathode? What is the meaning of the word observation? What do you see? Okay. So the impure metal, the pure copper metal will come and it will start getting deposited at the cathode. So what are the two observations you can write, children? What is the color of copper? We have already discussed it. It is reddish brown, or any other color for copper metal, children? Pink. So reddish brown or pink copper metal is deposited. What will be my second observation? Can you see when copper metal will come and get deposited, what happens to the thickness of the cathode? The thickness of the cathode increases. Clear? Or you can write the mass of the cathode increases. What are the two words you can write, children? Either you can write thickness of the cathode increases, or the more correct way of writing is mass of the cathode will increase. Clear? Write the reaction taking place at the cathode. Okay. So you have at the cathode, always remember my metal is going to come and get deposited. Okay. So it is Cu2 plus. That ion has come here. It wants to get discharged. What is the meaning of the word discharge? It wants to lose its charge. If it's a plus here, plus. So when it becomes Cu metal, or we can say neutral copper metal. So what is the reaction that is taking place at the cathode, children? Always remember at the cathode my metal will come and get deposited. So before that it has to be in the form of ion. If it's a plus here, and it becomes neutral copper metal. And what's the observation? What will you observe at the cathode? You will observe a reddish brown metal, or you can say pink color metal is deposited, and that reddish brown color metal or pink metal is nothing but it is copper. Okay. So these were the certain questions that were asked in the previous year board paper and this year's 2026 specimen paper. Hope you have understood electrolysis chapter as a whole here. If you have any doubt, please go through my previous videos and please do like, subscribe my channel and please do put your valuable comments there. Your subscription is very, very valuable to us. It's very, very important to us. So children, please do keep learning. Please do keep revising. If you have any doubts, please do comment in the comment box. I will be getting back. Thanks a lot.